The Florida Panthers have found their secret weapon, or should I say, secret weapons. There are so many different players on this team that have stepped up in big moments. And this man had one moment in the playoffs that made him become Playoff Bob. We'll talk about that in a second. And Paul Maurice has this team playing their best hockey of the playoffs at the right time. We have a lot to go over in this episode of Panthers Digest, guys. I'm your host, Greg Andrews. Hit that subscribe button down below. You need to stay up to date with anything and everything that has to do with your defending Stanley Cup champion, Florida Panthers, and their pursuit to back-to-back titles. So we're going to jump right into this, guys. This is going to be all about stats, comparing last year to this year, and so much more. Let's get right to it. First off, this is the Panthers in terms of they are a plus 27 goal differential this postseason. You see it right there at the very far right of your screen. Goal differential, they are plus 27. Yes, I put Edmonton there as a comparison. But look at the goals against. The Panthers defense has been better. Yes, 6 goals might not seem like a lot, but it is. Okay? As for the goals for, both offenses have been very productive this postseason. You can look at all the rest of those stats right there. They are very close. I am not going to say to you guys who are Edmonton fans, hey, we've got this in the bag. You shouldn't say, like some of you have, oh, we'll take it in 5. McDavid and Draisaitl are going to... It is so evenly matched. The only things here that I'm going to go over right now, and there's very few things that are kind of blown out of the water one way or the other. Again, it's the penalty kill for the Panthers versus the penalty kill for Edmonton. It's also better power play advantage for Edmonton, but not by much. And we're going to get into that. But this is the first thing. Plus 27 goal differential for the Panthers through 17 games in the playoffs. They were plus 11 last season at the end of the playoffs. So an improvement there. We're going to keep this ball rolling still. They also had 3.88 goals per game, 2.29 goals against this year. They have gotten better compared to last year. On 5-on-5, 2.39 goals per game. That was last year. 3.53 this year. That's per 60 minutes. That's a big jump up. 1.25 goals more this season compared to last season, guys. And here are some more numbers. Like I said, the penalty kill. The Panthers are killing off 88% of the penalties, 66% for Edmonton. Not very good numbers there. And then we look at the power play percentages here. Florida is a little bit lower, about 7 percentage points, but the power play goals are even. The Panthers have one more than Edmonton. Again, it's so close. I really see this as the penalty kill is one of the biggest areas that there is discrepancies between these two teams. Other than that, it is very evenly matched. Statistically, it is. But we're going to keep moving forward right now, guys. So this is what we're looking at. Here is one of the big secret weapons, I think, and it's that third line for the Panthers, that Marchand, Luostarinen, and Lundell line. They have been great this postseason. Lundell, Luostarinen, and Marchand, that third line, earned 53% of shot attempts on 5-on-5. They're averaging 4.2 goals, 0.82 against per 60 minutes. Great numbers for a third line, and I think this is one of those secret weapons. If they play solid hockey against Edmonton's third line, they're able to put up some goals, they're able to put on body-to-body contact, get on that forecheck, get on that back check. They're going to be scoring a lot, guys. The defense, too, especially if they get that Mikkola-Jones connection up at the blue line. That's going to be huge for the Panthers because that's another area we're going to talk about in just a second. But before we get into that, what I want you guys to see is that this is what that third line has been able to do this postseason. Here is an example. That Marchand pass right into Lundell, pure beauty. And they've done it a lot. That chemistry on that line has been nothing short of spectacular ever since they started this postseason. And I would say more so when Marchand had that goal that won Game 3 against Toronto in overtime. But let's keep moving on. We also have this beauty right here against the Carolina Hurricanes. Again, it just looks easy for this line to connect with one another. They know where they're going to be skating to with the open ice. They're always charging towards the net. Need I say more? That is definitely one of these big secret weapons. But I've got another one for you guys. I'm going to show you right now. It's this man right here. That big number 77, the Condor, Nico Mikkola, guys. He has been spectacular. Big body, throwing it around, great on defense, especially with that Jones. My God, him paired up with Jones is scary. Two big guys, both have speed, great ability to control the puck, can throw it at the net. Both are sniper-esque. I'm not going to say they're the greatest shooters out there, but Jones has one hell of a slap shot. Mikkola knows how to snipe it with a nasty wrister. And again, they're so physical. These guys are so physical. That pairing, by the way, Jones is carrying almost 25 minutes time on ice. He's at 24:59 on average in the playoffs, which is insane if you really want to think about time on ice for a guy, a defenseman, especially in the playoffs. So that Mikkola and Jones pairing, again, 56% of the shot attempts when they are on the ice happen. 4.14 goals for and 1.69 goals against per 60 minutes for 5-on-5. Big numbers for those two defensemen when they are together on the ice on any line. When they're paired up with any other line, magic happens when they're out there. Their defense is incredible. They shut down some of the best in the game in the last 3 series. So a dangerous, dangerous combination there. So we are going to keep moving forward again. We're going to go back to this where we're talking about that third line. So Marchand in 14 points in 17 games. Luostarinen has 13 points in 17 games. And Lundell has 5 goals and 7 assists in the games that have been played so far this postseason. Really incredible numbers. Yes, you could say the first line still with that Barkov, Reinhart, and Rodriguez line right now. I mean, they've all been great. Just look at those numbers. Everybody keeps saying, well, Edmonton Oilers, they have Draisaitl, they have McDavid. You can keep going on and on about who they have. Somebody said to me, oh, they've got 3 or 4 guys. Okay, I'm glad you guys have 2 or 3 guys that have 20 plus points in the playoffs. That's great. Look at how balanced this sheet is. The stat sheet is so balanced for the Panthers. Up and down that stat sheet right there, you could see goals and assists, points, time on ice, all of this. They are the ultimate team. When you guys look at the Edmonton Oilers defensemen, they don't have a whole lot of points. There's not a lot of goals and not a lot of assists compared to this team. There are, I think it was 4 guys that have 3 goals on defense right now. I think maybe more than that. And that is a very, very big advantage for the Panthers because those guys are going to keep throwing the puck, at the net from the blue line more times than not. That's why I just showed you the numbers here for the Mikkola and Jones pairing on defense. 56% of shot attempts, 4.14 goals for and 1.69 goals against per 60 minutes, 5-on-5. Incredible numbers. So let's keep moving forward again, guys. Excuse me. So right now, few miscellaneous things here. You could see those total goals for when these guys are on the ice. Obviously, Barkov is leading the way. And look at Seth Jones, though. 29 of the goals this postseason have been scored while he was on the ice. He helps make things happen. Really. And then the total goals against, I threw that one out there too because I want you guys to see, obviously, Barkov does a lot of time on the ice there. He's on, unfortunately, some of those giveaways. They do happen when he's out there, but it's not really his fault. We do see Rodriguez. I mean, he's been doing a better job, but Reinhart has had some foolish mistakes sometimes, but they've mixed it up a lot for that first line, that second line too. Just take a look at those numbers. And then the big one here is that plus minus, Lundell has the best plus minus in the postseason right now. That is why that number is in bold. But I just love looking at these numbers and seeing what is kind of crazy. If you look at the Lundell, Luostarinen, and Marchand line, total goals for on there, it's not as good as that first line, but it's up there. again, every single one of these lines for forwards and centermen have put up big numbers this whole postseason. Just go look at your stats, go research it. I don't want to take up too much time looking at this. So, as we keep moving forward, here we go. Goals for. We got Sam Bennett. Obviously, he's leading the league postseason wise as of today. That'll probably change. We'll see. But he's been playing some great hockey. Again, the word is he is probably going to be staying in Florida. I've been hearing more bits and pieces come together that it is looking like he's probably going to stay. But again, those are still just rumors at this point. Nothing is really going to be discussed or decided until after the finals are done. So, still speculation, but it's looking more and more like he's favoring staying here in South Florida, which is great for all Panthers fans. So you see Lundell, plus minus, he's leading the league there. And Sam Bennett, again, even strength goals, he's leading the league with 7 this postseason. Obviously, the other bold number there at 46, those are the penalty minutes for Brad Marchand this postseason. And obviously, they are through the roof. So that was from the other day. But I want to go back to talking about Sergei Bobrovsky. And there we go. We see the goal again by Nico Mikkola, who has just been playing out of his mind. But I want to talk about the matchup between Bobrovsky versus Skinner right now. It is more even than what I think anybody has realized right now. And what's crazy is the moments that made these two goaltenders start standing on their heads was the same game from the same round. It was game number 4, second round against Toronto. For Bob. He wasn't having the greatest first series. He was still letting in some goals. You know, was looking a little shaky, but then playoff Bob emerged when he had a shutout in game number 4. He has had since then a 7-2 record, 7-2 record, 7 wins, 2 losses, 944 save percentage, and a 134 goals against. Playoff Bob arrived that game. And then Skinner, since game 4 versus Las Vegas, he has been 6-1. 944 save percentage, 1.41 goals against average. So both goaltenders have been very, very similar stat-wise and been stingy in terms of letting in any goals. The numbers are very, very even. Same save percentage. Bob's a little bit better with his goals against average. And I would say this right now, the goaltenders are even. I don't think either one is going to be giving up too much in this series unless we do see just some really crazy passing, big breakaways, odd man rushes, which, like I said, we started seeing some of that happen with the Panthers in that Toronto series. And hopefully it doesn't go into this one because Edmonton, I do know, we all know they are quick. They are crafty. That is something to think about before the series begins tomorrow evening. But the Panthers are the road warriors, guys. They are 8-2 on the road this season. That is 6th best in NHL history for a road record in the playoffs. They have a 4.8 goals per game average, which is most in the history in the NHL for a road playoff team. They have, again, 48 goals for, 21 against on the road. Pretty ridiculous numbers. And at home, they have 18 goals for and 18 goals against. So it's a push at pretty much breaking even there. Not really what you want to, it's not really where you want to have your goals against and goals for against, goals for and goals against. You don't want them to be even. They're a much better road team. And I guess that's a huge bonus considering they are the road team in this series. And I said this in the last episode, it's going to really come down to, I'm not going to say so much as a game 1 is the really deciding factor as it will be game 2. I think it's whoever is going to win game 2. If they're able to carry that momentum back to South Florida, that team will dictate the series a little bit more. But I see this one having a lot of back and forth. I think it's going to be a shared kind of 50-50 thing. Road team's going to win on the road. Home team will win one. I think it's going to be a lot of back and forth. I think it's going to be another very, very entertaining close series again this year, barring, and I'm not going to say anything, barring any sort of injury. I'm going to say it. Sorry, I wasn't, but I'm going to. Barring any sort of injury, I think that will be the biggest thing that will maybe shake up this series in terms of give a definitive advantage to one team. But right now, I just don't really see it. I don't. I call this one very, very even. It's going to be entertaining, but the Cats just have to keep up their defensive ways, keep up the great penalty kill, and hold this team so that way they're not able to get those power play goals. And the thing that the Cats need to do is don't make stupid mistakes. I know there was a lot of horrible calls in some of these series. The two different embellishment calls that I don't know why the referees are calling that, but the Panthers have to stop shooting themselves in the foot with these stupid penalties. They really do. But anyways, on to the next piece here, which is Aleksander Barkov. He has been a stud. He might not be putting up the world's largest, most amazingly loud numbers in the playoffs, but look at how he has been helping his team with these incredible assists. He's had a couple of great goals, including this one right here. That was a great goal. I know I showed another one in the other episode where he was diving, still got both hands on his stick, and somehow got that puck to go off of the goaltender's stick, or it was the defender's stick, and went into the back of the net. But he makes plays happen. There's a reason why he was also the Selke Award winner, because he is the league's best defensive forward. He plays incredible defense. He really, if he has two hands on his stick, you're not going to get the puck away from him. He controls the puck so well, especially when he's in those corners. He makes things happen. He's a great skater too. Every single one of his teammates says this guy is something special. He's the most soft-spoken individual, and I don't think he's talked about enough in terms of his incredible ability to play the game of hockey and see the game in all facets of where he is on the ice, open ice. If he's got a bunch of guys on him, how does he get the puck out of the corner, in terms of the forechecking, his back checking, his passing abilities. He can still snipe it. He's a big body, so he's able to throw it around and be physical. I mean, he is a total package. Is he the best in the game? No. Is he one of the best? I would say yes. He is one of the most underspoken hockey players in the league, and I think he's really starting to turn some heads this postseason with his play. He has been nothing short of incredible. And we're going to keep moving on right now with this. This team just never looks like they get frustrated or flustered. Even when they are down in a series, in a game, they are able to pull it back together. The two times in the last series against the Carolina Hurricanes when they scored 5 goals in 9 minutes and 8 seconds. And then they had another game where they scored 3 goals. That was game number 5 in 4.5 minutes, just over 4.5 minutes. And that turned that game in their favor. They have that innate ability to be able to turn it on, and when they smell blood in the water, they come at it, and they do not stop coming. They wait for that perfect moment, and they strike when the iron is hot, guys. That is how this team is built. Again, keep saying Bill Zito did this incredible job of bringing this group together, and he's made them better than they were last year. They are so much better. Even Paul Maurice has come out and said, this is the best team that I have ever coached. Nothing against the other teams that I have coached, but this is the best team I have ever coached. You can see how they're playing hockey together. It is the most team hockey that I have seen out of any team so far in years. It is incredible to watch them play on the ice. They are selfless. They are the definition of a team. And the best part is they have a lot of experience in the playoffs. Just about every single player on this team has a ring. They all have playoff experience. Not everybody does. I didn't say that, but a lot of these players do. And that experience that they can draw from one another helps this team be who they are. That identity of championship or bust and hard-nosed, grinded-out hockey, physical play, and never, ever, ever giving up. That is this team's identity. They are the bad boys. They are the ones that are flustering so many people and so many fan bases. And I hate to say it, but they are the epitome of what other teams are looking to do with their hockey teams right now, is build like this organization has done, so they can compete each and every year for a Stanley Cup. 3rd year in, guys. Big series coming up. Big game 1 tomorrow night. It will definitely be entertaining. And one last thing before we go, there is one guy on the injury report right now who is day-to-day. It is AJ Greer. We will see what happens tomorrow, and I will have more with another episode tomorrow about the press conferences for Media Day that are actually happening as we speak. But guys, thank you again for tuning in to Panthers Digest. I'm your host, Greg Andrews. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share. I appreciate all of you for tuning in and watching these episodes, guys. I'll have more for you tomorrow. Enjoy your Tuesday. And for those of you who are living in South Florida, try to stay dry out there. It's pouring rain where I am, but go Cats, guys.